Long ago, many Greek people lived in Greece. Greece has many mountains and many small islands. It has a long coast by the sea. The land is beautiful, but much of it is not good for farming. There are many hills and rocks. There are not many wide fields. Greek people grew wheat, grapes, and olives. They made bread from wheat. They made wine from grapes. They made olive oil from olives. These things were very important in Greek life. But the land in Greece could not always give enough food to all the people. In the middle of the 8th century BC, the number of Greek people began to grow. More babies were born. More families needed food. More people needed homes. More people wanted land for farming. But there was not enough good land in Greece. This was a big problem. A family needed land to grow food. Without food, people could not live. Some young men also wanted their own land. They did not want to wait for land from their fathers. Some people were poor. Some people had no land at all. So many Greek people looked at the sea. The sea was not only a wall, it was also a road. Greek people were good sailors. They made ships from wood. They used sails. The wind moved their ships across the water. They also used oars. Men sat in the ships and moved the oars with their arms. The Greeks knew many islands and coasts. They sailed around the Aegean Sea. They went to places near Greece. Then they went farther west and farther east. They wanted new land. They wanted food. They wanted places for trade. Trade means buying and selling things. Greek people could sell wine, olive oil, pots, cloth, and metal things. They could buy wheat, wood, fish, and other things from far places. So the sea gave them a way to find new land and new trade. From the middle of the 8th century BC, Greek people built many colony cities. A colony city was a new city made by people from an old Greek city. The people who went there were called colonists. They left their old home and made a new home far away. A colony city was not only a small camp, it was a real city. People built homes, they made streets, they built a market, they made a port for ships, they built temples for their gods, they made farms near the city. The people in a colony city still had a strong tie with their old city in Greece. They spoke Greek. They used Greek ways of life. They told Greek stories. They prayed to Greek gods. They traded with Greece. But the new city could also make its own rules and choose its own leaders. Many Greek colony cities were built on the coasts of the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean Sea is a large sea south of Europe. It is near Greece, Italy, France, Egypt, and many other lands. Greek colony cities were also built on the coasts of the Black Sea. The Black Sea is northeast of Greece. It is a large sea. Many rivers go into it. The land around it could give grain, fish, wood, and other things. The Greeks did not usually go far inland at first. They often chose places by the sea. A place by the sea was good for ships. Ships could bring people and things. Ships could take food and trade goods away. The sea was very important to a colony city. Many colony cities were built near a good harbor. A harbor is a safe place for ships. There, ships could stay out of strong wind and high waves. A good harbor helped a city become rich. Greek people looked for places with water. They needed fresh water to drink. They needed land for farms. They needed trees for homes and ships. They also wanted a place that was easy to protect. Sometimes Greek people met people who already lived in the new land. The Greeks could trade with them. Sometimes they lived near them. Sometimes there was fighting. Life in a new land was not always easy. Still, many Greek colony cities grew. They became important places. They were links between Greece and other lands. Greek language and Greek ways moved across the sea. Massalia was in the south of France. Today, the city of Marseille is in the same area. Long ago, Greek peoples sailed west across the Mediterranean Sea. They came to the coast of southern France. There, they built Massalia. Massalia was far from Greece. To go there, Greek sailors had to cross much sea. They had to watch the wind. They had to watch the sky. They had to be careful of storms. A storm at sea could break a ship or push it far from the right way. But Massalia had a good place by the sea. It had a harbor. Ships could come and go. Greek people could trade with people in the land around the city. They could send Greek things to the people of southern France. They could bring other things back to Greece. Massalia was a Greek colony city, but it was also part of the land around it. The people of Massalia knew Greek life, but they also knew the people near them. They heard other languages. They saw other ways of life. They learned about new goods from the West. Massalia helped Greek trade move farther west. It was an important Greek place in southern France. It showed that Greek people could build new cities far from Greece. Another famous Greek colony city was Syracuse. Syracuse was on Sicily. Sicily is a large island near the south of the Italian peninsula. The Italian peninsula is the land where Italy is today. Sicily is very close to southern Italy, but it is an island in the sea. Greek people came to Sicily because it had good land, it had water, it had a good coast for ships. It was also in a good place for trade. Ships going around the Mediterranean Sea could stop there. Syracuse grew into a strong and rich city. It had farms near it, it had ships, it had trade, it had walls, it had many people. It became one of the most important Greek colony cities. The city of Syracuse was not in Greece itself. It was far west of Greece. But its people spoke Greek. They used Greek letters. They told Greek stories. They built Greek temples. They were Greek people in a new place. Syracuse became famous for more than trade and farming. It became famous because a great man named Archimedes was from Syracuse. Archimedes was a mathematician. A mathematician is a person who studies numbers, shapes, and ways to work with numbers. Archimedes lived much later than the first Greek colonists, but he was born in Syracuse, the Greek colony city on Sicily. Archimedes thought very deeply about the world. He studied circles, lines, and shapes. He also studied water, and things that flowed in water. He asked questions. He looked carefully at things. He used his mind to find answers. One story says that Archimedes found an important idea when he was in a bath. He saw that water moved when his body went into the water. He understood that an object in water can push water away. This idea is now called the principle of Archimedes. The word principle can mean an important idea or rule. Archimedes also studied levers. A lever is a long, hard bar that can help people move a heavy thing. For example, a person can use a long piece of wood to lift a rock. A lever can make hard work easier. Archimedes understood that a small force can move a heavy thing when people use a lever in the right way. His ideas helped people understand machines. Archimedes was from Syracuse. This is important. Syracuse was not only a place for ships and trade, it was also a place where people could learn, think, and make new ideas. A colony city could become a great city with its own strong life. Another important Greek colony city was Tarentum. Tarentum was in the southeast part of the Italian peninsula. It was on the coast. Greek people built it in southern Italy. It became an important Greek city in that area. The south of the Italian peninsula had many Greek colony cities. So many Greek people lived there that the area was sometimes called Magna Graecia. Magna Graecia is a Latin name. It means Great Greece. The name Magna Graecia shows how important the Greek cities in southern Italy were. Greek people did not live only in Greece. They also lived in many cities in southern Italy and on Sicily. Tarentum had a good place by the sea. It could use ships for trade. It could trade with Greece, Sicily, and other places in Italy. It could get food from the land near the city. It could also send goods to other lands. Like other Greek colony cities, Tarentum had Greek language and Greek ways. People there could feel close to Greece. But they also lived in Italy. They met people from other groups. They traded with them. They sometimes fought with them. Greek colony cities were often places where many people met. A ship could bring Greek people, people from Italy, people from Egypt, or people from other lands. A market could have many languages. It could have many kinds of food and goods. The Greek colony cities helped ideas move from place to place. Greek letters, Greek art, Greek stories, and Greek ways of building cities moved across the sea. At the same time, Greek people learned things from other people. Another very important Greek colony city was Byzantium. Byzantium was built around the 7th century BC. Greek people built it in a very special place. Today that place is Istanbul. Istanbul is a very large city in Turkey today. Long ago, Byzantium stood where Europe and Asia are very near each other. It stood near the water between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. This waterway is very important. It links the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. Ships from the Mediterranean Sea could go through this waterway to the Black Sea. Ships from the Black Sea could go through it to the Mediterranean Sea. So Byzantium was in a very good place for east-west travel and trade. East-west travel means travel between the east and the west. A ship going from Greece to the Black Sea had to pass near Byzantium. A ship going from the Black Sea to Greece and the Mediterranean Sea also had to pass near Byzantium. This made Byzantium an important city. Byzantium could watch ships as they went by. It could trade with ships. It could get money from ships. It could buy goods from many lands. It could sell goods to many lands. The place was also easy to protect. Water was around much of the city. A city with water around it could be safer from an army on land. This helped Byzantium become strong. Byzantium grew because of its place. Its people did not need to travel far to meet ships from many lands. The ships came near their city. This made Byzantium a center of travel and trade. Much later, Byzantium became very important in world history. Its name changed. It became Constantinople. Much later, it became Istanbul. But in the 7th century BC, it began as a Greek colony city called Byzantium. The story of Byzantium shows that the place of a city is very important. A city near a river, a sea, a harbor, or a road can grow. A city at the meeting place of two seas can become very rich and powerful. Greek people did not build colony cities in only one area. They built them in many places. They went west to southern France, Italy, Sicily, and other lands. They went east and northeast toward the Black Sea. Why did they go? One reason was land. As the Greek population grew, more people needed land. Population means the number of people in a place. When the population became larger, there were more mouths to feed. There were more families. There was more need for homes and farms. In Greece, good farmland was not easy to find. Mountains covered much of the land. Some fields were small. Some land was too dry. Some land had too many rocks. A young man might want to farm, but he might not have land. His father's land might go to an older son. Or the land might be too small for all the sons in a family. So some people chose to leave Greece and go to a new place. A new colony city could give people hope. It could give them land. It could give them a new home. It could give them a chance to build a better life. But leaving home was hard. People had to say goodbye to family and friends. They had to leave the city where they were born. They had to go on a ship across the sea. They did not know everything about the new land. They did not know if life there would be good. The trip could be dangerous. Ships were much smaller than ships today. They did not have engines. They used wind and human power. Sailors had to understand the sea and the weather. They often stayed near the coast when they could. They could stop at an island or a beach. They could get water and food. They could wait when the weather was bad. Still, many Greek people made these long trips. They wanted land, food, and trade. They wanted a new chance in life. Another reason for Greek colony cities was trade. Greek people wanted things that Greece did not have enough of. They wanted grain. Grain is a word for food plants like wheat and barley. Grain could become bread. A city with little farmland needed grain from other places. They also wanted wood. Wood was important for homes, ships, tools, and fire. Greece did not have enough large trees in every place. So Greek people looked for wood in other lands. They wanted metals too. Metals such as iron, copper, silver, and gold were useful. People could make tools, arms, coins, cups, and art from metals. Greek people could send out olive oil, wine, pots, and cloth. Greek pots were often beautiful. Some were black and red. They had pictures of gods, heroes, people, ships, and animals. When Greek ships came to a new place, they could trade pots and wine for grain, wood, metal, or animal skins. Trade helped both sides get things that they wanted. A colony city could be a trade stop. Ships could rest there. Sailors could get food and water. People could sell and buy things. Then ships could go on to other places. The Greek colony cities made a wide sea world. Greece was at the center of this world, but it was not alone. Greek people were linked with many other peoples. The Greeks learned from people in Egypt, West Asia, Italy, France, and places around the Black Sea. They did not make everything by themselves. They saw new things and took ideas from other people too. For example, Greek people learned letters from people in the East. Then they made a Greek alphabet. An alphabet is a set of letters used for writing. Greek writing became very important. Greek colony cities carried the Greek alphabet to new places. Other people saw Greek letters. Some people used ideas from Greek writing for their own writing. Greek art also moved across the sea. Greek people made statues, pots, temples, and houses. Their art showed their gods and their stories. People in other lands could see Greek art in markets and ports.
Greek stories moved too. Greek people told stories about Zeus, Athena, Apollo, and other gods.
They told stories about heroes like Heracles and Odysseus. These stories were part of Greek life. When Greeks moved to a colony city, they took these stories with them. Children in Massalia, Tarentum, Syracuse, and Byzantium could hear stories from Greece. They could feel that they were part of the Greek world. At the same time, each colony city had its own life. Massalia was in southern France. It was near people in the west. Tarentum was in the southeast of the Italian peninsula. It was near other peoples in Italy. Syracuse was on Sicily. It was near Italy and near other groups on the island. Byzantium was near the waterway between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. It was close to Europe and Asia. Each city had Greek roots, but each city was also shaped by its own place. This is one important point about Greek colony cities. They were Greek, but they were not all the same.
A city in southern France had different weather, people, and trade from a city on Sicily. A city near the Black Sea had different goods from a city in southern Italy. The sea linked them, but the land around them made them different. The Greek world was larger than Greece. When we say Greek world, we mean Greece and the many places where Greek people lived, traded, and shared ideas. The Greek world spread around the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. The sea helped make this possible. Today, some people may think of the sea as something that keeps countries apart. But for ancient Greek people, the sea often linked places together. A ship could travel from one coast to another. A ship could carry people, food, goods, and ideas. The Greek colony cities were like doors. They were doors between Greece and other lands. Massalia was a door to the west. Tarentum was a door to southern Italy. Syracuse was a door to Sicily and the western Mediterranean Sea. Byzantium was a door between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. These cities helped Greek people travel farther than before. They helped Greek goods reach new places. They helped Greek ideas reach new people. They also brought new things back to Greece. A ship from the Black Sea could bring grain to Greece. A ship from Italy could bring metal or other goods. A ship from the west could bring new trade things. In this way, Greece became part of a large network. A network is a group of places linked together. Greek colony cities were part of a sea network. Ships went from city to city. Goods went from city to city. News went from city to city. People went from city to city. A person in Greece could hear news from Sicily. A person in Syracuse could hear news from Greece. A trader in Massalia could meet people from many places. A sailor in Byzantium could see ships from the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. This was a busy world. Life in a colony city was not always safe or easy. There could be storms, there could be bad harvests. There could be fighting with people nearby. There could be fighting with other Greek cities. Greek cities did not always live in peace. Even Greek people could fight other Greek people. A city wanted more land, more trade, or more power. This could lead to war. Still, the colony cities continued to grow. Some became rich, some became strong, some became famous for learning and art. Syracuse is a good example. It began as a Greek colony city. Later it became a great city. It had strong walls and many ships.
It had rich people and skilled workers. It was also the home city of Archimedes. Archimedes shows us that great ideas can come from many places. He was not from Athens. He was from Syracuse on Sicily. But he was one of the most famous Greek thinkers. He studied math, he studied shapes, he studied water. His work was important for a long time after he died. When we learn about Archimedes, we can remember Syracuse. Syracuse was on Sicily. Sicily was near the south of the Italian peninsula. Syracuse was a Greek colony city. It was one of the important Greek cities in the west. When we learn about Tarentum, we can remember its place too. Tarentum was a Greek colony city. It was in the southeast of the Italian peninsula. It was part of the Greek world in southern Italy. The area had many Greek cities, so it was called Magna Graecia. Magna Graecia means Great Greece. When we learn about Massalia, we can remember that it was far west of Greece. Massalia was a Greek colony city in southern France. It was near the Mediterranean Sea. It helped Greek trade move west. Today, Marseille is in the same area. When we learn about Byzantion, we can remember its special place. Byzantion was built around the 7th century BC. It was a Greek colony city. It was where Istanbul is today. It stood near the waterway between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. It became rich and important because ships passed near it. Let us think again about the words before Christ, or BC. BC is used for years before the year 1. For example, the 8th century BC means the years from 800 BC to 701 BC. The 7th century BC means the years from 700 BC to 601 BC. Greek people began building many colony cities from the middle of the 8th century BC. This means from around 750 BC. Byzantium was built around the 7th century BC. This means around 700 BC or later in that century. These dates are very old. They are more than 2,000 years ago. At that time, there were no trains, cars, planes, or engines. People walked. They used horses. They used ships with sails and oars. Travel took a long time. This makes the Greek journeys more amazing. Greek people crossed wide seas in small ships. They found new places. They built cities. They made farms. They opened markets. They made new lives. The colony cities did not appear in one day. First, a group of people decided to leave. They chose a leader. They got ships. They took food, water, tools, seeds, and pots. They may have taken animals too. They sailed to a new coast. They looked for a safe place. They wanted fresh water. They wanted good land. They wanted a harbor. Then they built simple homes. They made a place for ships. They began to farm. They made a market. More people came later. The small new place became a city. The people in the new city still remembered their old city. Their old city was sometimes called the mother city. A mother city was the Greek city where the colonists came from. The colony city was like a new child of the mother city. The two cities could trade. They could share religious festivals. They could remember the same gods and stories. But the colony city was not always under the rule of the mother city. It could make its own choices. It could become strong by itself. This is why Greek colony cities were important. They were not only places where Greek people lived. They became new centers of Greek life. They had their own farms, ships, markets, leaders, and armies. They could become richer or stronger than the old city in Greece. A colony city could also change the land around it. Greek people built roads. They made ports. They planted crops. They traded with nearby people. They brought new art and new ways of making things. Sometimes people in the land around a colony city began to use Greek goods. They may have used Greek pots. They may have learned Greek letters. They may have copied Greek art. In this way, Greek life spread. But the Greeks also changed. When they met other peoples, they saw new foods, new clothes, new tools, and new ideas. Trade was not only about goods, it was also about learning. For example, a Greek sailor might see a new kind of ship in another land. A Greek trader might see a new way to make metal things. A Greek worker might see new art on a wall or a cup. People learn when they meet other people. The Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea helped people meet. The sea was full of movement. Ships carried people from one coast to another. Greek colony cities were important stops in this sea world. Massalia, Tarentum, Syracuse, and Byzantium were not just names on a map. They were living cities. Children played in their streets. Farmers worked in their fields. Sailors fixed ships. Traders sold goods. Workers made pots and cloth. Priests prayed in temples. At sunrise, fishermen may have gone out to sea. Farmers may have gone to their fields. Women may have made food and cloth. Children may have helped their families. Men may have gone to the market or the port. At the port, ships came in. Some ships had grain, some had wine, some had olive oil, some had wood, some had metal, some had people from far away.
The city was full of sounds. People talked in Greek. Other people spoke other languages. Workers hit metal. Sailors called to each other. Animals made sounds. Waves hit the shore. A colony city was a place of work. It was also a place of hope. Many people came because they wanted a better life. Some found good land, some became traders, some became sailors, some became workers, some became rich, some did not. Life was hard for many people. Still, the cities lasted. Their names are still remembered today. Massalia helps us remember Greek people in southern France. Tarentum helps us remember Greek people in the southeast of the Italian peninsula. Syracuse helps us remember Greek people on Sicily and the mathematician Archimedes. Byzantium helps us remember the link between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea, and the city of Istanbul today. These four cities show the wide reach of Greek colonization. Colonization means making new colony cities in other lands. Greek colonization began because of problems in Greece, especially the need for land. But it became much more than a search for land. It became a great movement of people, ships, trade, and ideas. The Greeks did not all leave Greece. Many people stayed. But some groups went out across the sea. They made new homes, they built new cities. These cities became part of the Greek world. The Greek world became bigger. It went west to Massalia in southern France. It went to Tarentum in the southeast of the Italian peninsula. It went to Syracuse on Sicily. It went to Byzantium near the Black Sea. It went to many other places too. When we look at a map, we can see Greece near the Aegean Sea. Then we can see the Mediterranean Sea around it. We can see Italy to the west. We can see Sicily near southern Italy. We can see southern France farther west. We can see the Black Sea to the northeast. Greek ships moved through these seas. They did not have maps like our maps today. They did not have phone apps. They did not have a machine to tell them where they were. They used the sun, the stars, the wind, the coast, and their own knowledge. They learned the sea by going out on it again and again. A good sailor knew the shape of the coast. He knew where the rocks were. He knew where a ship could get water. He knew when the wind was dangerous. He knew when to wait. The sea could give food and trade, but it could also bring danger. That's why a safe harbor was so important. Massalia had a good harbor. Tarentum had a good place by the sea. Syracuse had a good place for ships and trade. Byzantium stood at an important waterway. The place of each city helped it grow. A city needs people. It needs food. It needs water. It needs safety. It needs ways to trade. The Greek colony cities tried to find these things. Some cities became very successful. Some became important for hundreds of years. Some are still cities today. Istanbul is a great example. Long ago, it was Byzantium. Later, it was Constantinople. Today, it is Istanbul. Its place is still important because it still links Europe and Asia, and stands near the waterway between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. Marseille is another example. Long ago, Greek people built Massalia there. Today, Marseille is a city in France. The old Greek city is gone, but the place is still alive. Syracuse is still a city on Sicily. It is still known for its long history. When people hear the name Syracuse, they may think of Archimedes. Tarentum is known today as Taranto. It is still in southern Italy. Its old Greek past is part of its history. The Greek colony cities show us that history is not only about kings and wars. History is also about common people. It is about farmers who needed land. It is about families who wanted food. It is about sailors who crossed the sea. It is about traders who bought and sold goods.
It is about people who left home and made something new.
The Greek people of the 8th century BC had a problem. Their population was growing.
They needed more land. Greece did not have enough good farmland for everyone. They found one answer in the sea. They built colony cities on the coasts of the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. They built Massalia in southern France. They built Tarentum in the southeast of the Italian peninsula. They built Syracuse on Sicily. They built Byzantium, nor the link between the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. These cities became important because of land, trade, ships, and their special places.
Syracuse became the home city of Archimedes, the great mathematician.
Byzantium became important for east-west travel and trade. Today, it is Istanbul. The Greek colony cities helped spread Greek language, Greek art, Greek stories, and Greek ways of life. They also helped Greek people learn from other peoples. So when we think about ancient Greece, we should not think only about the land of Greece. We should think about the sea. We should think about ships. We should think about many coasts and many new cities. We should remember that the Greek world was wide. It reached from Greece to southern France. It reached to southern Italy and Sicily. It reached to the Black Sea. It was a world linked by water. And in that world, Greek colony cities grew, traded, learned, and changed history.